Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Friday, December 3rd, and this is virtual lunch number 448. Our guest today is Kendra Smith, who is an executive vice president for Cobra Legal Solutions, and this is part of our continuing series on lessons learned and looking ahead with Cobra. Hi, Kendra. How you doing?
I'm great, Ari. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to see you today and to have this conversation. Tell us about your background and your role at Cobra Legal Solutions.
From my entire childhood into college, I was so science-minded and I was going to be a doctor. I wasn't that kid that went to college and tried 7 different majors my first year. I went in, I was a biology major and stuck with it the entire time. I had every intention. I was studying for the MCATs and took a full left turn and went and took the LSAT instead. So I went to law school just completely on a whim. Literally 3 weeks after getting LSAT results, I started law school. I graduated in 2009, which for the lawyers was a very, very bad time to be a new baby lawyer. 97% of people graduating from law school at that time did not actually go into the legal profession. I stumbled my way into document review and e-discovery, but now it's the match made in heaven and the perfect place for me to be because I do have that technical, science-minded, everything is black and white, which was an interesting world in law school because you are so different and come from a really different perspective than everybody else. So by training, I am an attorney, but I have been in e-discovery for virtually my entire career that we work with. So Cobra started really as a document review, offshore document review company. I had the honor and privilege of really building the e-discovery team and everything about it at Cobra. Yeah, so we really see technology as a facilitator to services. So we're very, very focused on people and process. There's a lot of technology out there, and some people confuse that with an easy button. Hey, all we need is the technology. We're so focused on the technology that we lose really what is the end goal, what we're trying to accomplish, which absolutely has to have that service component. So we really see the technology as just a facilitator to the services and using the best technology in the best way. So that's the other part of it. It's not the easy button, but it can definitely help us and give us a huge leg up on those services. So as long as we keep the focus of what we're trying to accomplish and the best way to accomplish that, the technology can just be a way to support that and a way to move forward more quickly and more efficiently and effectively. In the beginning, the pandemic really paused everybody. Everybody took a huge step back. Law firms, especially, like the on-site, in the office, butts in seat mentality, the OG way, I guess. What has happened with the pandemic is really opened people's eyes to this can be done remotely. This can be done much more disparate than butts and seats and all of those things. It took a minute for everybody to get on board with that. What it has done is opened everybody's eyes to what a lot of people on the e-discovery side have been doing for a long time, working remotely. All of this can be done literally from anywhere. It shifted focus a bit. And for us, especially a shifted focus, you have to increase security. And how do we do that when everybody is completely remote? Shifted the focus a little bit. It also got everybody on the same page with acceptance of this more globalized and perspective where it can be done from anywhere and that's okay. No one was prepared for everybody has to be remote. Everybody has to be ready to do this. And there was panic over what are the challenges? What aren't we thinking of? How do we do this? And again, from the perspective of working remotely, that's something that we have always done at Cobra in some regard, right? Not everybody was remote, but we did have a big remote workforce that was prepared for, was already working in that way. And so being there and then being able to guide people through that was also helpful. We could basically take their hands and say, look, we've been doing this for a long time. Here are the checklist of things that you should be concerned about, you should be thinking about, and how are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? How are you going to overcome these challenges? Being the leader in that way helped us also help our clients overcome those challenges more quickly. What that looks like for Cobra, also, there's different global implications of what remote means as well. Honestly, everybody's virtually in the office, right? Because they are all VPNing into an office computer, right? So ultimately, The human is remote, but the data, what they're accessing and how they're accessing isn't. That's definitely different than 15 years ago. And that is how we've overcome some of those hurdles. A lot of that now is around that data security and where is my data going and who's going to have access and how and what can they do with it. All of that existed before the pandemic, but it definitely exists in a different way, in a heightened concern once you have people literally all over the globe working from their homes and things like that. Technology has enabled us to get to a different definition of remote. That technology enabling that to happen has also changed people's comfort level with that over time as well. We have some clients that are going back to, no, you have to be in the office, clean room, but that's a very limited and small segment of our client base. Even those clients are more flexible, I will say, than before, that only specific requirements for very specific projects or very specific requests. In general, with the security that we've taken, people are much more accepting of the proven out now current state of remote where everybody is doing that. And again, it's the humans, not the data. The biggest things for building a good team are transparency. Number one, there has to be as much possible transparency, both directions, of exactly what you want, exactly what you're looking for, right? So when we interview candidates, very, very open about exactly what we are, exactly what we're doing at Cobra, exactly what we are trying to accomplish with our people, with our clients, in all of those ways. And then there's an expectation that the team does the same thing. Be transparent about who you are, where you are, what you want. The second part of that is collaboration. They have to want the collaboration. There's people who don't want to work in a team. There's people who think that my idea is the best idea and I want to do it the way that I want to do it, and everybody else should do what I want. We are very much the opposite of that. I have a very down to the most junior person has experience and has life experience and work experience and what they've seen or what they haven't seen work well or not work well. And they bring something to the table and they have an interesting perspective. And so everything is done in a very collaborative way that everybody has a voice and we come to the best solution. What's going to work best for us today might not be what's going to work best for us a month from now or a year from now. In that collaboration and that respect for everybody having a voice and everybody having a unique perspective that really gets to weigh in on decisions and on how we move forward. And the last thing there is just passion for what they're doing. Whatever team you're trying to build, you have to have that shared passion for what you're trying to accomplish. Again, right? The end goal. So everybody gets to have their voice, everybody can have their unique perspective, but ultimately it has to be that passion for what we as a team are trying to accomplish. It's just fostering the team, right? It is fostering the mentality, which people, and especially in e-discovery, from what I've seen, is a tough hurdle to overcome of we succeed or we fail as a team. And it's an easy statement to make. In practice, it's a lot more difficult. People want to, no, I didn't mess up. I didn't make a mistake. We really overcome that. And that's not to say we don't dig in and look at root causes and how we fix things and how we move forward and what we need to do when a mistake is made. However, it's very focused on, okay, we fix whatever the issue is and we do a postmortem later. And that's a very constructive and collaborative way of moving forward. No one is ever going to be finger pointed and called out. We really truly succeed or fail as a team. Being a leader, you have to continually foster that with the team, and you got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. This is something that I feel like is still changing for me over time. Even a couple of weeks ago, I got my eyes wide open for me. One of the things that is the biggest thing is you have to meet people where they are. And as a leader, that has definitely changed again over the entire 2 years of the pandemic, right? How people reacted to this mentally, emotionally, physically, all of those things go into what they're bringing to work and what they're bringing to you on any given day. But just telling people that you will is very different than reaching out and pulling it out of them. About a month ago, this situation with an employee who was really just over the top, stressed out and needed support. And me saying you can come and talk to me anytime wasn't enough, especially as somebody gets to that point. If you're not knocking on their door to say, hey, what's up? What can I do for you? How can I help you? Is everything okay? They're not going to come knocking on your door if you're not knocking on theirs.
Kendra Smith, everybody. Great discussion. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And thanks, of course, to Cobra for supporting our series on lessons learned and looking ahead. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much.